So we're here again for another video. This time we've got a familiar voice, not face. This is Dave Sharp, if you've not seen him before. Otherwise known as Floatlight, Mr. RedBar UK, 2019.
Right. That explains why we've got the in the background.
Purchaser of the limited editions.
General all-round.
G-Shock, General All-Round Dog's Body.
Jeremy,
yes.
Trainer
Leica
collector.
enthusiast.
Leica devotee.
Yeah.
I like a trainer and a watch.
You do indeed. So how are things going? What's been happening? That good? Well, thanks Dave for coming along. It's been a good show.
It's been one of those weeks, that's all I'm going to say.
Been one of those weeks.
Yeah, no, but it's good, yeah. All good.
So is
a
this
new year, and I don't know what this year will bring. We'll see what it brings, eh?
Well, what it seems
to
have brung is a collection of nice pieces. Now, you've done a lot of podcasts with us over the last year. Probably a year ago we did the first podcast that was so long we did it over two.
We did.
We talked about quite a few of these watches here, but people either haven't seen them or, they may have forgotten about them. So this is a good example to show off, and the talk show, it seems to be going quite well, so we thought we'd get you on.
Cool.
So, let's start at the beginning. Have you got the piece that got you into watches? The one that we did a little review of recently?
You've not, have you?
Funnily enough, I've not.
That's great, Dave. Moving swiftly on.
Well, I did. So basically, what I did was, as we know, we had a chat, and basically I listened to you and then ignore it all. It's generally how it works.
It's the way of things.
It's the way of things. But basically, you kind of said to me, bring a cross-section of interesting pieces, and obviously we've done a few videos and we've talked about some watches, and for sure, I tried to basically bring a collection of, I suppose, not expensive to that's ridiculously expensive, and from different kind of genres, and from dress to not dress to all different kind of areas that just, I suppose, to try and get across the point that certainly for me, watch collecting isn't just about a brand or a type of watch or just dive watch. I very much have a broad eclectic taste, and it could really range from a G-Shock, of which this is a nicer G-Shock. It's not a cheap G-Shock, but I've got plenty of £99 plastic G-Shocks out there because they're great and I love them as well. Okay. There's independent brands in there. You've got Chaikin, you've got Ming in there as well. You've got obviously our Scottish friends at Anordane there as well, through to your very traditional Swiss brands. Obviously there's a fairly high proportion of Omegas in there because they tend to make a lot of things that I like, frankly. Obviously there's Oris in there as well, but then I've got the kind of Japanese brands that I enjoy, like Grand Seiko. There's a JLC, which is a kind of, a lot of people did kind of look at me funny when I had that. They're like, that's the most un-you watch that you've ever seen, but actually I don't think so. I just think it's a great classic piece. Yeah. And then I brought a few kind of, I suppose, a little bit more unusual pieces, like the one by Citizen, a brand that seems to have
pop that one out. Let's have a look at that first.
Yeah, I mean, this is a piece that I think you'll be amazed by how little of it there actually is. I'll stick that back in there. You feel yourself, there's almost nothing to it.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a watch they did, if I remember.
How thin is this?
So they call it the One, and it's based on 1 millimeter. But basically, what it is the movement itself is a mil thick. It's 1 millimeter thick. The movement. It's fully solar. So it's their eco-drive system.
This is known as the Boher.
It literally is. It's thinner than a Boher, quite literally. I mean, it's ridiculously thin. I think it's maybe, if I remember rightly, 2.1, 2.2 mil. It probably is up there with the thinnest watches in the world. I think there's possibly maybe one or two. I know there's a few companies that like to specify it. We've got the thinnest automatic watch or the thinnest manual wind automatic watch.
Parmigiani that make the thinnest currently?
Oh, to be honest, I've lost track of it. There's that many of them that play it. But I mean, all I know is it is ludicrously thin. Yeah. It's just, I just found it really interesting. The minute I saw it, I don't think it was ever kind of officially brought into the UK or Europe. There was maybe one or two brought in, and it was kind of left to sell in Japan. But it was actually Simon at Porter's, who's a good friend, and I'd kind of shown him a picture of it. I was like, this looks amazing. He was like, oh yeah, I really doubt you'll find one of them in the UK. But he said, I'll ask for you. And he kind of asked, and they said, I think they said, oh, we can get one, or we've got one. And it came up, and he said, I think they sent it up actually in Apro, almost disbelievingly, of somebody's actually asked for this watch. Right. I said, okay, I'll have a look. And as soon as it arrived, I was like, I need to have that in my collection just for no other reason than it's just there's nothing else like it.
Yep.
You know. And okay, maybe I've kind of got a bit OCD in the Hermes straps on it, which is my other little kink. But hey, it makes it look good. It's a cracking little piece, that one.
So much was that?
So this actually it comes on a bracelet. So it comes in a deploying like multi-link stainless steel bracelet, which is the same thickness as the case. So it is ludicrously thin, and it's really comfortable as well. I think it was, now I'm guessing here if I remember rightly, I'm sure it was about 2 to 3K, I think it was, that kind of neck of the woods, something like that. And then I just put it onto the leather. I just think it's a fantastic looking little piece. I mean, it's when you look at the whole dial is effectively the solar panel, but if you get it in like really direct sunlight and you look at it, you can just see through it. It's so thin. And it's the hands that a lot of people, when they look at it, the hands almost look like they're painted on.
Yep.
You know, a lot of folk went, oh, it's not real until you actually sit and watch it and you watch the hands move. It is ludicrous, but it's a great wee piece. And I enjoy wearing this one actually a lot. It's a wee bit different.
And you forget you're wearing a watch?
Yes and no. I mean, it's like you've picked it up. There's nothing to it. I mean, I'm sure there's it almost feels like, you know, these remember when Swatch did the paper ones that you could have all the different designs and you would put them on to see what they look like. It literally feels like that when it's on. There's so little to it, but yeah, it's a great piece. It'll definitely fit under any clothing.
Yes,
it's not going to catch your shirt cuffs. But yeah, I really enjoy that one. It's a wee bit different. It's one that every time I don't wear it super often, but when I put it on, I can remind myself of that's why I bought it.
Okay, we'll put it to the side.
Put it to the side.
Yes.
Okay, put it that way.
Just out the way, stick it on the floor.
I just fling it on the ground. We probably should do a wrist check as well.
A wrist check?
What are you wearing?
So today I am wearing the Grand Seiko. It is, I should get it right, shouldn't I? Grand Seiko. There we go. That's how it's actually said.
Give the public what they want.
Exactly.
Yes.
This was done, was it last year? Or
when was that? Was that a snowflake or?
So this was done as a US only special. So it's a 44 GS case, spring drive movement, and it's got, I think this has got a couple of nicknames, but if I remember rightly, I think it's called Frostbite, I think is the nickname they gave it, because it's a kind of snowflake-esque dial, but it's in a very blue colour.
Yeah.
So it's a slightly different texture, but it's got a similar texture to snowflake, but it's also a steel case as opposed to the white snowflake, which is titanium. And that's a watch that I don't actually have a straight snowflake. It's a watch that a lot of people, when they pick it up, I think they think it's steel, but of course it's a titanium case, and they pick it up and it's light.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people, that's the one thing that maybe puts them off that watch, is because they go, oh...
Yeah, they want some heft for the money.
Yeah, the old classic of, if I'm paying money, I want it to weigh a lot of money, you know.
Yeah.
But to say, I don't wear this one super often, but I really enjoy it as well. And it comes in a bracelet as well, but it also came with 2 alligator straps. I think it comes with like a kind of dark brown one, and I think it might be a dark brown and like a lighter brown strap. But it was funny, I was kind of thinking I want a blue strap because I want to see if it'll make the dial kind of pop out more. Yeah. And when I found this blue that's really close matched it definitely brings the blue out in it. So yeah.
That's cracking.
I do like that one. Yeah, it's a nice little one. There you go. What about
well,
yourself?
Today I have got a Tudor, not a Rolex, because I know you don't like Rolex.
No comment.
Look at that face. So I've got the Tudor, which is the Black Shield Fast Rider Ducati edition, ceramic with aftermarket strap.
Quite nice, that strap, actually, kind of racing style strap.
It works.
Who's that strap from?
That's from a place called eBay. It's about £8.
Cool. Is it Ibage?
Ibage.
That's the one, yeah.
Ibage.
Ibage.
It's like Fabergé for cheap people. So, yeah, I got this one, nearly 3 years ago.
It's a good looking watch, that. It's kind of, it's not dated, you know, it's...
No, and the thing is, Tudor
does a red tire on you?
No.
No, because it's... I know you've also got a piece I've not got here, but we've got the same one. We've got the Apollo 8 Dark Side of the Moon, which is obviously black ceramic, but with that yellow hit in it.
That works.
It does and it doesn't. It was like, because again, the strap, it's not dissimilar actually, is it? It's not as aggressive a strap as that.
Yeah, it's more perforated.
It's similar to the one that he's got. But
correct, but the original strap's got the kind of punch holes with the yellow highlights in it.
Yeah, but I've got an Ibage rubber strap.
You upgraded.
I did.
Excellent. Yeah. And I believe they may have seen it. I believe that Omega have maybe said, this is fantastic.
Good comments.
Good comments, yeah.
Good comments. There was some photographic evidence.
Fantastic.
Some wrist shots were taken.
So it's basically solidifying the kind of validity of that outlook.
Yep.
Perfect.
Excellent. It was...
Put that in the reviews.
Yeah.
As recommended.
Commended.
You can now put photographs on reviews on eBay, can't you?
I don't know, can you?
Do you keep hearing a voice in the background?
I don't know. Maybe we should explain to people what that disembodied voice is.
Somebody needs to control these cameras.
Well, if anyone hasn't heard our podcast or has a clue who that voice is, that is Rick. And since Rick is a spy, or so he likes to believe, he doesn't want to be on camera.
All I would like to say to you all is, welcome, welcome, welcome.
You may have heard that before, and that will be the last time you hear that on this show, thankfully. So, yeah.
Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year. So I got this one 3 years ago. It's supposed to be about 3,000 back then, 3.5 now, but I got it for 1,700 because the store I got it from was ditching Tudor, or they were getting told to ditch Tudor. So I got that brand new, full warranty.
Oh, that was the day. Was that in the days? That was was that in the days when they were allowed to still have the R brand and the T brand in the same
Correct.
shop? And then they suddenly decided they didn't like that so much.
No.
Although I noticed a few of them were going back that way, funnily enough.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Lanes in Glasgow, didn't they? They've always been a big Rolex dealer, but they had Tudor in the secondary branch, but I noticed they're back into the main branch now.
Very close
Very
window
close by,
proximity as well. So I got this guy and it's been good. It went back once because the rotor started making a funny noise. But
well, if that's that age, is that an ETA movement?
That's a 7753.
So they're not exactly known for being quiet and subtle.
No,
and they have got a waggle on them,
they've
shall
got
we say.
the wobble as well. So depending on which wrist you're using, that can be a problem, Dave.
How aggressive you get.
How aggressive? How much time you have left
So
till the message comes
home. Is that what the man behind the camera's for?
Sometimes. He's not quite as good, isn't he?
What's the word? Fluff?
Fluffer.
That's
Fluffer. Watch Fluffer. So yeah, good wee guy. Wear it sometimes.
He's not saying much now, he is shaking
not
his
saying
head.
No,
much.
I'm just shaking my head.
He's just shaking his head.
This is the third one of these we've done. It all goes the same direction.
Three fluffers in one day.
At the end.
Boys get skills. Big forearms.
Gotta love it. So that's me done the wrist check.
Cool.
And let's go for another piece. So I'm going to pick one this time, and you've got two that look kind of the same.
That's what we're thinking.
These
He's got
two.
an Omega
Well, actually,
collection.
yeah,
About
so,
half a dozen of them look the same.
That's the Speedmaster's a Speedmaster, isn't it? Let's be honest. So, the two that you're pointing out are the kind of derivations of the special editions of the
Is it CKs?
CK2998s. Yeah. So I think the one you've got is the blue and white one, which was the blue and white. So this was the take a wee foam off it away. Over. So this was, is this the first? Yes, this is. So this is the first of the special editions. This would be from, bad with years actually, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. This is 2020, it's 2017 or 2018. This was the special edition, the kind of panda dial.
Yeah,
nice. With the kind of slightly off-white. This is the one, I really liked this when I saw this one come out. It was kind of, I'd been sniffing about FOIS, the first Omega in Space, CK, the kind of regular edition release one. And I don't know why I just never kind of, it was always, it's nice, but never actually just physically
Turn it around,
gone and bought it so we can all see it.
Yep.
So they did this one as a limited edition, and I think, is it numbered? It is, 2998, funnily enough. Not that Omega base numbers on anything other than how many can we sell, but hey. And this is one that actually sold out pretty quickly. And I know that there is people hunt for these. So I again like this one, but again in my classic, the way I typically do things is I immediately change the straps. So this was the kind of Snoopy-esque. This is a genuine Omega strap, but it's in the kind of Snoopy-esque.
I like how you got
finish.
that dig in there.
What dig? Oh, sorry. Well, some folk just can't afford the badge straps, It's for a select clientele.
If Omega made the proper straps, that's all I'm saying. Well, you mentioned...
this is this one, and I don't know if you wanted to go into the kind of brother of it or such.
No. Let's go for the Snoopy that you just mentioned.
It's not here.
That I told you to bring.
When did I ever listen to you?
Never mind.
Don't know what you're looking to me for help for.
I'm not looking for help.
I really shouldn't expect any better. So
the only thing I can say is, though, that as much as I didn't bring it, you haven't surveyed your estate.
I've had a look. Well, we'll go for the coin.
The coin. Well,
coin.
I'll tell you why I didn't bring it, because for starters, I was late back last night because I was away and I kind of did a bit of a dash round and I was putting it together. But then I tried to have some similarity. So the reason I brought the coin one was because you had mentioned a couple of days ago to me in text. I think it was, do you have this?
With a photo.
Yes.
Yeah, bring it.
This one I got is because of all my one of the reasons I like Speedmasters is I'm absolutely like just
Dave, pull it out.
Nerd-tastic. Pull it out again.
Pull it out, Dave.
Well, I don't know. Leave it in.
We want to see it.
Pull it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I am totally geek out about the whole space program, really from kind of early Mercury through to Apollo into the space shuttle. And probably my favourite astronaut was Jean. Well, it was, he's passed away now. Is Jean Rousseau Paris, who was kind of in the program through it. But he was the last man to have his foot on the moon at the end of the Apollo program. So effectively, the last man ever to step foot in the moon. Oh. And that was on the Apollo 17 mission, which was the last Apollo mission that landed on the moon. And this was the 35th or 40th? 40th. This is the 40th anniversary of the Apollo 17 mission. And it's probably one of the ones that's relatively universally derided in terms of everyone thinks it's horrific and it's horrible and it doesn't look good, which in some fashion attracted me to it because no one else likes it. This is one of the few limited edition Speedies that actually even to today hasn't sold out. You can still get these.
Really?
Yeah, you can still get these new from Omega, even from, I know that the London boutiques certainly have at least a couple available. They're still in their little coffins, etc. They did, I think, if you look at the backs, at
1972.
72, yeah, which was obviously generally these limited editions were all done on mission year. So this was the kind of unique thing about this is that the dial is a solid silver dial, so it's kind of based on a kind of coin or medallion, which is the mission patch of Apollo 17.
And it's got the Omega on the actual glass.
The Omega and the Speedmaster Professionals on the glass. All the kind of text that's normally on the dial is on the inside of the glass. It's pretty useless as a watch in terms of you can tell the basic time in it, but it still has got the chrono sub-registers on it. But good luck trying to see
they are.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, exactly. They're definitely there, but there's... The problem is that the hands are there, but there's none of the other accoutrements to actually use it in any meaningful sense.
This is worse than the dark side of the moon.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
This is hopeless.
I think there's probably a bit of lume on the main hands, and I think that's it.
There's a smidgen. A
smidge.
Half a bee's dick.
I actually really enjoy wearing it. It's a great piece. And it's one, you don't see it that often. People don't buy it because they think it's ugly, frankly. And the reason I kind of brought this partially because you had commented to have a look at it, but it also kind of fits in with one of the other watches I brought, which is the one that sits beside it, which is this one, which just kind of falls into the whole Jean Rousseau thing for me because this was the 45th, if I remember rightly. Are we right? I think this was correct, 45th. This was the 45th anniversary of Apollo 17. And it's kind of quite interesting because the case back is basically the medallion. So the case back is the same as the dial on this one. 45th anniversary, 1972 again, mission year. This one did, if it's not sold out, it's as near as damn it sold out again. This is one that did disappear. A little bit different though, it's got the Sedna gold hands, Sedna gold marker bars on it as well. It's just certainly more legible, and there's a few bits of detail on it, like under the professional in the red. It's got the exact time that he effectively left the surface of the moon. So it tells a little story about that. But again, I had to kind of fall in, and it's got the part of the mission patch as the sub register. It's a classy looking watch. I really like it. It's kind of very dark blue on this one. Yeah. Might have a look. It's one that I quite enjoy, that watch as well.
You can actually tell the time on this one, and it's got the racing.
Yeah.
Around the chapter ring.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Now I'm going to grab a couple and quickly go through them.
Okay.
Because time is of the essence. So first of all, this wee guy here.
Yep.
You can see this in all its glory in a video we did previously where we spend pretty much 10-15 minutes of you gushing, and me gushing a little bit as well, about this.
I love this watch.
60-second rundown, go for it.
60 seconds. Russian watchmaker, Konstantin Chaikin.
There's no way that's how his name's pronounced. There's no way you're pronouncing that correctly.
Okay, his name is Bob Smith from Russia.
Konstantin Chaikin.
Konstantin Chaikin.
Is it?
I'm pretty
Okay,
convinced that's right. I know I'm usually wrong, but I'm pretty convinced that's right. Anyway, this is his Joker watch, which was a watch that I suppose put, he does many other pieces, but I think this is the watch that probably put him in the kind of the map or into the mindset of a lot of watch collectors, still probably broadly unknown outside of people who are just watch geeks, for want of a better word. As you say in the little video, you can have a watch of it. The detail you just probably can't see here, but when you look at it up close, the detail on the dial is amazing. The eyes are the time, so you've got the hours and the minutes as the eyes. You can't actually see it, you can just see the edge of his tongue, but this is a moon phase, a bright red moon, which is his tongue for all intents and purposes. We're literally on day, sadly I know this, 27.2 of the current moon phase, and we're now waxing something. Anyway, there we go. On that as well, you've got the ears, obviously one crown for winding time and adjusting, and the other crown is a false crown, but with a pusher to allow you to adjust the moon phase. And on this strap, which is one of the original Chaikin straps, you've got his hair and his suit. You can't not, to be honest, I'm sure there'll be people who don't like it, but you can't not like this, and you can't not smile when you see it. And it's one of these, it's one of the few pieces that I've got that, other than folks saying, "Oh, that's really nice," do say, "Where can I get one? I want one." I mean, at the States last year when we had the RedBar Global, a guy saw it, was like, "Oh, I've never seen one. I want to try it on." Tried it on. I need one. I need to buy one. He bought one, and I think someone, I'll not say who, but I think someone who's going to be a guest of your guys at some point as well, maybe on the podcast, kindly helped him out, and he got one. There's a guy down south that saw it and sent me a message on Instagram and was like, "I need one of these in my life. Where can I get it?" And so it is a watch. This is the titanium one. They did 88 pieces of this. They did a stainless one before it, stainless steel one. There was 99 pieces. I actually mistakenly thought there was 100. There was actually only 99. And there's been a few kind of special editions and one-offs. There's been the pig and the clown. And
is the person you're speaking about getting a night joker? Is this the same person we're speaking about?
Yeah, so this person, this person kind of is in a limited run that he's got as an exclusivity on called the Night Joker, which is a black.
Oh no, we're talking about somebody completely different.
Oh, you're black.
But we've got a future guest.
We do, yes. Oh yeah, well that person.
You're talking about who sold it to the other person.
Yeah,
that's the one. Yeah, there's.
I knew I had a use.
A couple of degrees of separation. The Night Joker is a cool one, and the interesting thing about the Night Joker is it's the first one to have some lume in it. Yep. So the eyes are lumed. I think if I remember rightly, the numbers around the eyes are lumed, but then the whites, the eyes aren't lumed, but in the black pupils there's a little dot, and they're lumed. And I think the red smile in this is lumed on it as well. So it's kind of subtle lume, but you can definitely tell it's a face at night, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And obviously you don't need a moon phase at night because you can look at the sky
from yourself.
So that's that one. Yep.
Good. And just to recap another. Oh, is it going to fall in? Oh.
No, it's not.
There we go.
There we go.
It's falling in because it's solid gold. That's another one. We did a video of this one as well. This was way back.
This is possibly actually this watch for me was a bit of a, we'll call it an expensive awakening, shall we?
Right.
In that pretty much with watches, they're stainless steel or titanium. That's to me. Most watches I have would be probably classed as tool watches. I just like this. What I like. I've never, I don't wear a lot of jewellery, but even my wedding ring's titanium, and I don't wear gold. I'm too pure.
Your husband chose well.
He did. Yeah. My husband. Which one? Second or third?
Seventh.
Perfect. Yeah. We're now talking about my husband, even though I don't have a husband. It's brilliant. She'll be delighted, my wife. No, actually, she will be delighted. Finally, she can get rid of me. Every time I've seen a gold watch, I'm classic kind of like West Coast of Scotland milk. I'm not even like milk bottle white. I'm more Casper the Ghost or see-through. I'm milk bottle white on a hot sunny day. Actually, more red to be fair. But every time I've ever tried anyone's gold watch or anything, I've kind of been like, that's absolutely horrific. And the running joke that I said to folk was, I don't want to look like a gold top milk bottle. But this came along obviously last year. There was the announcement. Obviously, it was a big 50th anniversary of
Oh, we didn't know.
No. Yeah. Did you not hear about that? No. I mean, it didn't really hit the news.
Did any watch brands jump on the back of that or anything?
one or all of them, you know. Okay. Yeah, but there was one in particular. Don't know why. Apparently a bit of a relationship, something. Not sure, but hey, you know. 50th anniversary, and then this was announced. I think this was announced pretty much the start of last year, and I've got a great relationship, to be honest, with Omega, and you know, I kind of got the message of, so do you want one? And actually, my initial reaction was nope. Not that I didn't. I looked at it and I was like, oh, it looks amazing. But I was like, but it's gold, and you know, the usual things. A, it's gold, so it'll cost a fortune. B, it's gold. I don't look good in gold. And C, it's gold. I'll never wear it anywhere. You know, I'm kind of in London with work, and I'm out and about with work and everything. And I'm like, I just would never wear it, just from a, you know, security aspect, whatever you want to call it. But then I actually saw the Carney piece, and it was weird. It was a real, I can specifically remember it, because they obviously then announced the stainless steel 50th anniversary kind of piece as well. And I went to look at them both, and it's just one of these watches. The minute you pick it up or the minute you try it on, it just does, it's visceral. You're like, must have this watch. And I then sent a message and said, I think I've made a terrible mistake, probably too late. And it was like, no, we can make that happen. And everyone that knows me says to me, oh, you wear that way more than I ever thought you would wear it. And I enjoy wearing it. And I mean, I was like immediately, right, as with all mothers, get rid of the bracelet, straight off the bracelet onto like a nice, you know, kind of red matching the bezel alley strap with a deploy in it, and it'll all be good, and it'll tone it down and it won't be as gold. And I've got that strap and I've got that deploy, and I've never been near it yet. It's not come off it, because I mean, even the details like the deploying or the clasp on it is as original. It's the narrower, so it's got a big taper. It goes from the 20mm tapering down to the 16mm, whereas all the others taper 20 to 18.
How does it sit in the wrist then with the weight? Is it okay?
It's actually, I mean, it's really balanced, because it's a pretty significant, chunky, big lump of gold as well. And it's definitely, I mean, you know, I'm not going to drop it, but it's definitely top heavy. But the bracelet's such a nice fit to it. I think if you wore it Django Bobby Dazzler style, it would probably swing itself round to the bottom. He's falling asleep over there.
That's fine.
Swinging round to the bottom, but actually wear it quite nipped on my wrist. So no, it's I've never found it uncomfortable. And interestingly, I thought it would nip the hair, but it hasn't. But it's
good. Well,
if you ever get a chance to try one on, and I dare you to not want it. And you know, we're real world check here. At the end of the day, it's what was it, 27,000 pounds, whatever it is. It's mental, you know. Buy a house, buy a car first. They're important. You know, look after your family. This is lunacy. But if you're in a lucky position to be able to get, idiot.
What was that?
That was him properly falling asleep.
That's properly falling asleep.
So, you know, if you ever get the opportunity to be in a position to look at something like this, you know, don't dismiss it, because I very nearly made that mistake.
Yeah.
You know, it's a great piece.
And check out the video that we shot last year on this one as well.
Yeah, I think the video of this one was reasonably sensible, whereas the video on the Joker, you know, it's not quite as serious. Less serious watch, a serious watch with a less serious face.
They're both good videos. Watch them all.
Yeah.
Right, and let me see what we can grab next. Okay. Because there's a lot of hype about this guy, and it's only recently become available. Why did you get this?
Why?
Because he's twisted.
Firestarter.
There's a lot of truth in that.
There is absolutely a lot of truth in that.
There's absolutely a case of, you know, this came out, now this would have been, when was this launched? This was the 2019 Basel. This pops out. And obviously, I mean, we've discussed this before on podcasts and stuff. What? What is it? What is it? It's a watch.
Tell people what it is.
It's a Tudor P01.
It is, Dave.
P01 or P01?
It's a P01, but I'm Scottish, so it's a P01, because zeros and O's are interchangeable. We know this. This is how it works. This, when it came out, I think, you know, there was a huge amount of backlash, and we've discussed this. And I think a lot of the backlash was down to the fact that they put up a couple of little kind of sneaky shots of various parts of it, the hands out in social media leading up to the show, and everybody did straight on it's a Submariner, it's a Tudor Submariner, it's a Submariner. And I didn't necessarily think one way or t'other. I kind of thought it might be, but it could be anything, you know. And obviously then this launches and how much you believe the backstory of, well, we found the one prototype. Pretty sure they didn't find it. I'm pretty sure they knew they had it, but I'm pretty sure somebody pulled it out and went, yeah, screw it, let's do this for a laugh. So they did it, and I think that's a nice thing. As much as, you know, I'm not the biggest Rolex fan in the world. Tudor, at the end of the day, it's the same company, it's Rolex, but this is, I think, where they maybe get to, in the same way Swatch Watch allows the Swatch group to get their insanity out of them. Yeah. I think Tudor allows a little bit, maybe not quite as mad as Swatch Watch at times, but certainly it allows them to do things that they would never do with Rolex as a brand. And actually, when it first came out, I was like, I like it, and I probably liked it quite a lot because everyone else was hating on it, and that certainly does have an appeal to me. But I'm not daft to the point of, you know, like, there are certain things that are just inanely ugly, and I wouldn't. But if it was genuinely inanely ugly, I would be like, yeah, whatever. And I very much said, Put my name down. Wasn't a long list, funny enough. Really wasn't a long list.
It not?
No, it wasn't. In fact, I was pretty sure they didn't even want me to put the name down on the basis of that would create a list.
Right.
But I said, look, I'll put my name down for it. When it comes in, I'll stick it on my wrist, and it'll be one way or the other. I'll put it on, and it'll sit terribly, or it'll sit great, and I'll go for it. And literally, it arrived, and it was late because I think it was originally scheduled for July, Augusty time, and I think it ended up rocking up.
Start of November, wasn't it?
Rocking up November-ish, something like that. It ended up rocking up. Went in, took it out of the box. It's a deployant. It was it was in the box, set in this pinhole already in its little case. Took it out. It was put it on the wrist, and it was just perfect. It just sat there, and it's probably, since I had it, had more than its fair share of wrist time with me. It's a great watch.
How does the bezel work? Show the viewers how that works.
Effectively, you've got long lugs, and the top part here, got a little indentation on it. It's awkward to do it off the wrist, but there we go. Push it down and it unlocks, which allows you to bidirectionally rotate the bezel. You see it's got serrations on it, and there's little teeth on the inside here. That pushes down to lock it, and it's locked.
Perfect.
So I mean, it's you know, you see it. You know, a lot of brands, they use the word, don't they, for the things they bring out, the novelties. This is a novelty, sure. For me, this is a novelty in the truest sense of the word, in that it's a piece that is a novelty. You know,
have Tudor done the 4 o'clock crown position before, or is that the first time?
Can't talk of vintage because I'm not big in vintage at all, but certainly in the modern pieces, I can't think. I think they've obviously done everything at 3 o'clock, or they've done the Pelagos left-hand drive at the 9 o'clock mark. Other than that, I don't think so. But I mean, this is a reasonably faithful reproduction of, I suppose, in the same way as the gold 50th Speedy is a relatively faithful reproduction of that original Speedy that it's based on. This is pretty faithful. When you put them both side by side, there's little here's, you know, the construction of this area, and the kind of straps a little bit better than the original. But to be fair, I think the original was 50s, 60s, I think it was. So, you know, we're a good bit down the road on it. But yeah, it's a great piece. I really enjoy it, and I think the hate's disappearing slowly but surely.
It has.
There's more than a few people who I've seen pick this up subsequently, and I know that the young man down the road, I'm not sure if he still got it, but they got their first one in, I think, at Mapping and Web, and he put the word out. So I've been interested to see if that's gone yet, because
there's a story. There always is,
especially when Declan's involved.
Yes. But no, when we did the joint Scottish Watches meet up, we had it with you guys at RedBar, that was the whole thing. It was Tudor, and they got a P01 in, and you had yours just arrived.
I'd had it about a week,
And people came along, and they saw it, and they liked it. So it must be one of those pieces that instant hate. I said it looked like when Tony Stark builds the Iron Man in the cave, the Mark 1. It's kind of brutal looking.
It's no bonny. It's never going to be pretty.
No. But no, people seem to like it. So next we're going to go for this little guy here.
So this is from Ming. Now, obviously, Ming in the last few months has, I think, really popped up onto the consciousness of a lot of watch enthusiasts.
Yeah. And it's a relatively new brand.
Couple of years now. Obviously, it popped up because of GPHG, and I think, was it Newcomer or no? What was it? They were up for, I can't even remember which category it was.
Colin Rick.
I'm trying to remember.
It was either newcomer or it was industry disruptory type.
Yeah, it was
channel.
that sort of thing.
I think they had a piece that was up, which is I think the one that was up was the copper dialed
recently.
one, which was there. Now let me get this right. 17.02,
I want to say 2.
whatever it was, yeah. And they brought out the blackout one, and they brought out the polished stainless with the polished titanium with the bronze dial, and I believe they are 2-hand or 3-hand time only.
I think they're 2-hand. I think.
Yeah, time only, I believe, which was the kind of latest iteration. They've been doing relatively short runs. I don't think they're necessarily specifically numbered, but they do like small batch runs.
I think they do 300 of everything.
Yeah, I think it's been in that neck of the woods. Certainly, what they did was the first one they brought out, and they've really got two categories. They've got the 17 series and the 19 series, and this was on the back. This is the 1703. So this is the GMT. Now, they don't do this. The 1703s are gone. They started off, they did, I think they did a brushed titanium case with either a blue dial, it was a burgundy dial or a other colour, I think it might have been black actually, with a GMT, which as you can see the GMT functions in the middle there on it. And they did those. Then they did a couple of very limited specials for their, I think it was either their first birthday or their second birthday.
Right.
They did called the Blue, which was they did a super limited number of ones where it was a titanium case that had been blued. So the case was blue and it had a blue dial, and they made it was super limited. It was like, I think 25 pieces. It might even have been less of that. And then they did, I think, 100 pieces of a titanium case with the blue dial. So basically the same piece but without the blued case.
Yeah.
And they did maybe 100 pieces of it, and that was their first birthday, I think. I think it was their first birthday. They sold out like that instantly. And then what they did was, as they retired this model, they did, now this one, if I remember rightly, they did 15. And this was the very last of them they did in this burgundy dial with this kind of, don't know how you describe it, kind of coppery, bronzy, brassy, but it's a titanium case with a kind of coating on it. The straps as well are absolutely amazing quality. Titanium buckle on it, but the straps, and that's terrible, the name has disappeared out of my head. It is French. Read it off the back. It doesn't say it on it, does it?
Oh, okay.
No, because it says Ming, but the straps are done, and that's absolutely terrible. We'll put it into the notes, shall we, when I actually remember 2 hours from now.
In the video description, Dave? Is that where we will put that?
No,
I do that. We get it done right.
Yeah, you don't want to trust me doing
so,
that.
It's a fantastic little piece, and as a brand, I'm really pleased to see them gaining some traction because they are highly underrated. They've got some really nice high-end kind of atelier pieces coming as well.
Yeah, and I think they've got a chronograph coming.
Yeah, and they like, I think last year as well, they also did, they'd done like a kind of prototype diver that they decided not to, I think, progress, and they had a batch of maybe 10 of them that they put out for sale. Just I encourage anyone to go and have a look at the Ming site, because it's a great wee company. The guy, follow them on social media. I've got zero vested interest in them whatsoever, but just they're a nice bunch of guys. There's also nice little interesting bits like on the strap. It's a little quick release, so they're super easy change. They do little packs of different strap colours, but interestingly, the little short lugs, the lugs have got 2 pinholes in them. So you can see that the strap's very curved to fit the case, so it doesn't rub. But it was designed so that you could run it with these curved straps on the inner hole, so it's nice and a tight finish, and it gives you a really clean look. But if you want to run your own strap with a straight that's not curved, you couldn't put it on the inner holes because it would kit the case. So they put a second set of holes at the very edge of the lug so that you could run a straight strap. So just lots of lovely little details on it. It's a brand, I've got 4 Mings, love them to bits. Bizarrely, when the last 2 came out, the GPHD one, the copper one and the black one, funnily enough, what did I do? I got the black one. Hey, shock horror, Dave chooses wrong again. But I actually really like it because, funnily enough, I think they did 300 of the copper and they did 200 of the black. So actually, I get the one that should have won.
Fair enough.
but as usual, didn't.
Perfect. Well, listen, thank you very much for bringing these pieces along. We wish we had more time to go through more of them. So if you guys want to see any more of these or any more of the watches that Dave puts on his Instagram, let us know in the comments, drop us a message, and we will try and get you back for some more stuff.
No problem.
And we've got a whole load of podcasts that Dave's been featured on because Rick hasn't turned up and things like that.
There was one.
That one time.
And to be fair, I actually did turn up.
Did you?
Well, I came to a different podcast meeting.
Yeah, a day late.
A day late.
So anyway, you can check out some of our podcasts with Dave.
He was very defensive there.
He was, wasn't he?
I was.
Time of the month.
Just wait till Friday.
Wait till Friday.
Yeah, I'm
it's all
not
good.
looking forward to getting
Anyhow, we're going to go. So thanks a lot, guys, for checking out this episode of the Tock Show. Hopefully we will have quite a few more of them. If people want to find out more about you and RedBar, where should they go?
So for RedBar, in the UK, we've got up and running. We've got London, Glasgow, Edinburgh. We've got the North East, which is fundamentally Newcastle, Sunderland. Bristol's first meeting kicks off this weekend, so Bristol's up and running now. Manchester's up and running as well. So there's a few, and there's a couple more that we're looking at. So if you go to RedBar Instagram, RedBar London, all one word, RedBar Glasgow, RedBar Edinburgh, RedBar MCR, because Manchester like to be awkward, RedBar Bristol, or RedBar North East, all one word. Have a Google about. To be honest, if you find London, have a look because they all follow each other anyway.
Good.
You'll find them there. They've usually got a link in their little bio that you can click and add yourself to the mailing lists and sign up and go along and support it. Feel free to sign up to multiple ones because plenty of you travel around and I know that lots of guys go to different ones. Find out there. If you just like watches, want to talk nonsense about watches without any agenda or snobbery, come along. There's zero, whether you like your Swatch watches or G-Shocks or whether you like your FP Journes or everything else and anything in between, come along and enjoy it.
Perfect. That's great. Well, thanks a lot, guys. Be sure to check out our podcast out twice a week, Mondays and Fridays. Also, check out our website, scottishwatches.co.uk, and us on Instagram. That's where all the good stuff is posted, at Scottish Watches. So, Rick.
It's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from them.
Goodbye.